Hey guys, JK here with another character spotlight. This time with Archer, the famed Fate Stay Night character, again with the proper name not revealed. So I'm gonna go ahead and show the new job called Archer or Bogard, I guess, and just kind of talk about some of the differences between that and the Ranger job. Actually, the stats are very similar between the two jobs. Usually they're separated by single digits if you take off all the gear and everything. The only difference, or the main difference, is that the Archer job clearly has more agility. So yeah, I mean, I've kind of built up the equipment to the same levels on both, and I've been kind of comparing them on my own. And ability setup wise, I have it kind of the same other than the main job, of course. Basic Bogard's kind of like something you definitely want to use because I don't think that there's really too much good stuff with the basic Ranger job. And plus, basic Bogard has some really good stuff. Like high angle shot is kind of like your cheap go-to ranged move as an Archer, but also it's a pretty decent ranged move for the Ranger and gives you fire damage if you need it. Concentration is a really good buff that gives you, I believe, 30% to both of those stats for 3 turns. So definitely worth doing if you're not in range to do really good damage or something on an enemy. And then Twin Blade Flurry is a surprisingly powerful melee attack. So again, it has fire if you need it. So yeah, I think it's a really good choice for both. Now, I did say that you would want to go with Ranger if you're up against like water enemies. So if you are up against like an all water stage, maybe you would want to consider basic Ranger instead of this because you don't want the fire damage. But in most situations, I think that you would want these skills because they are good skills. It's a really good ranged attack, it's a really good buff, and it's a really good melee attack. So that's why I chose that. Also, if you were using Ranger, you might want to give up the Clairvoyance and go with Defocus instead for the extra damage, but I try to do an apples to apples comparison, and that's how I did it. But yeah, in real life I would do deep focus here probably. Damage wise, Archer definitely does more overall, but of course Ranger has the advantage of having ranged normal attacks. So Archer is definitely more fun, and we'll kind of, we'll go into the level and showcase that, but on a practical level, Ranger might have a leg up on some things, but yeah, I'm gonna probably use Archer if I'm gonna use him at all. So let's go into the level. Again, we'll do the offline stuff for comparison's sake, and if you watched my Rinto Saka or Saber videos, you'll kind of like have a sense of how the damage compares between the two, or between the three, I should say. So let's go into it. My original plan was to wait until I got the gear with his master ability, weapon ability, or whatever, but obviously I'm not getting it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this now. And I can kind of talk about some of the numbers that I've seen as well. So as you can see, 35 starting joules, not a lot, but it is enough to do this high angle shot, which is kind of like his go-to move because it's cheap and it gives you good range. So this is range 4, but of course you add like 3 to that because of the Clairvoyance and the Eagle Eye. So you're gonna be able to hit these guys like over here. Very useful stuff. So just from my playing with him, I'm realizing that some of the stuff that I predicted, like joule problems and not getting enough for the big attacks, is true in a way. It is hard to get like 40 joules, 60 joules consistently or whatever, but at the same time I underestimated how useful some of these other abilities would be, like especially high angle shots. So actually I have 20 joules here. Why don't we go ahead and showcase Twin Blade Slash. There's a 2 hit, and the regular attack does 551, but this one does a lot more, 876. So we'll showcase that. Obviously, like I said, this is a very similar job to a Twin Blade Swordsman. I mean, he can even use the Twin Blade Swordsman weapon, so that tells you a lot. Oh geez, I'm probably gonna get slowed by one of these guys, and I'm gonna be only moving 1 square at a time, which is really annoying. Okay, good. At least I got to move fast. We'll farm up some joules there. So with the Curious Doll, which I definitely recommend with him, as you saw from that, with just one physical attack, I did get 40 jewels. So the Curious Doll is like a must-have for him. And with that 40 jewels, I can finish off these. Oh, he moved. Okay. I was going to finish him off with that tracing move or whatever it's called. So yeah, trace on, that's what it's called. So focus shot is just a stronger version of high angle shot. High angle shot would do against a bad elemental matchup 379, against a good one 661, and the focus shot would do 491 and 849, so significantly more, but it is double the cost. So I'm not really going to showcase that because I mean it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go ahead and use trace on. 491, which is the same damage as focus shot actually, but this one has 4 range. I don't know why it says 3 range here. Oh, I think maybe I got 1 extra range from the clairvoyance. I think that's how it works, maybe. Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and use that. Pretty cool stuff. And you know, it kind of works like a retribution blade. It would hit in the line. Let's get out real quick and then I'll just go ahead and show you his big AoE attack. Yeah, let's go back in. So numbers wise, his high angle shot did like 520, I believe, on just like normal neutral matchups. And Ranger, if you were using Ranger, like using the normal attack, it'd be like 434 or something like that. And then some of his like scouting shot and some of those other attacks would do like 534. So the damage is pretty similar, but Archer does have like the twin blade slash which does a lot more, and then you know trace on, Khalid bulge, whatever it's called, are stronger as well compared to most of the Ranger stuff. But if you are using Ranger, you would use probably deep focus and you can get more damage out of it that way. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and showcase the AoE because it's really sweet, and I'll also do the I forgot what it's called, but he basically hits 4 times and it does a lot of damage. So I do want to showcase those 2 in this level. Alright, so let's farm up some jewels here. So I got a critical that time, so what was that, like 53 jewels? Is that right? That's a lot. Yeah, I have to say that overall, he's stronger than I expected him to be. I said B tier originally. I think that I had to revise that and say he's A tier. So if you don't have a lot of people in your stable of heroes or whatever, I would definitely suggest raising him up. He's definitely superior to like a typical level 60, 65 character. He's not going to be on the level of like a top tier job 3 character, but you know, for a lot of people who are free to play, he's definitely worth building up. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this big 60 jewel AoE attack. As you can see, the range is pretty nice. Maybe I'll kill those 3. So yeah, the damage is pretty good. 924, 730 for all these guys, as compared to, oops, I can't even, let's do high angle shot, so like 520 again. So yeah, really nice damage and scope. Actually, I just realized I'm gonna have to do another one because I'm not gonna have enough to charge up my jewels and also to do the 4 hit attack. So let's just do it one more time and then I'll call it a video. We'll end it there. So yeah, my overall impressions are I'm pleasantly surprised. He's very very solid. I mean, he doesn't have like the mega damage potential overall, especially as the game starts like power creeping, and he's not really going to scale well in the long run. But for now, he's doing plenty of damage. I wish he was a little bit tankier, I guess, because he does have to get close up, and he has even less HP than like a Twin Blade Swordsman. But yeah, I mean, overall, he's fairly balanced. Obviously, he has a mix of melee and ranged, even more so than a twin blade swordsman. So he's very usable, I would say, except maybe against like all water enemies. And this slow is so annoying. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I need to pick a different level to do these reviews because it happens too much. It's so annoying. Okay, so we got the 75 jewels, and then we'll go ahead and do the big powerful attack. I was seriously pleasantly surprised when I saw it. Which is why I kind of think that the basic Bogard is kind of a must. Again, elemental matchups allowing. So the regular attack is 551 against a neutral matchup, and then 700 versus a good matchup. But if I were to use Twin Blade Fury, 1536, 1944. Crazy stuff. So while I do think his Trace On and his Khalid Bulge, whatever AoE, is a little overpriced on jewels, this is definitely worth the 40 jewels. A very powerful attack, and I can tell that if it were to be used against like a wind enemy, it would be devastating. So well, actually, you know, that was kind of the same thing here with a light enemy. It was already an elemental matchup, favorable matchup, because he's a dark element character. So yeah, I guess the same diff. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. I was pleasantly surprised with this character, and he looks cool and he's fun to use. So definitely worth investing in if you're not having like mega problems getting equipment and stuff like that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll definitely be using them for fun going forward. Take care, guys, and see you next time. Peace.